Hello. How are you guys today? It's beautiful weather, and I'm very excited that I'm gonna be going outside. Steve wants me to open up the windows, and yeah. So give me a second. I need to share my video. If you are watching this live, thank you, I appreciate it. But if you are watching this as a replay, as usual, please make sure to type replay. So I've recently been challenged to do a pinup makeup. So I thought I would do it live. I already did half my face because usually I do, I leave one side blank and then I do the other side. So today I did half my face, so this is kind of my finished product, and then I'm gonna do this side. So with my pinup, you wanna make sure that you have a somewhat flawless base. So what I'm doing is I'm using my Make Sense foundation, and so I'm using foundation, and then I'm adding a little bit of natural powder to it. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want more of I don't want that dewy look at the end. So instead what I'm gonna do is add that powder, and it'll give it more of a matte look. So I'm just mixing the powder with my foundation, and it's also going to give it a little bit thicker consistency so that it's going to go on a little heavier. I've already added Silk to my face. Silk is a primer. You want to make sure you're priming because you want to kind of fill in any little wrinkles. And so I'm going to add this powder to my face, or I'm sorry, the foundation to my face everywhere. And then I'm going to stipple it in. And why do I stipple it in? Because it gives it a more flawless coverage. So I'm going to put it everywhere. I'm going to stop at my jawline. I'm not going to follow it down to my neck, just because it's an easier place to stop. If you're joining me, make sure you're saying hello so I know you're watching. And tell me what you're doing today on this fantastic warm day. At least in Chicagoland. I can't say in everybody else. We've got gorgeous weather like we do, but it finally feels like spring. Okay, so now that I've got my base, my foundation on, I've got a little bit of under eye circles. So I'm going to take my concealer and I'm going to mix it a little bit with white because I've got kind of blue undertones, and if I've got blue, I want to add a little white to it. Hi Trish! I haven't talked to you in like 2 weeks. By the way, you're on my mind. I've got something, I gotta tell you something, so I'll have to message you afterwards. So I'm adding a little white to my concealer, and then I'm just going to use a kind of a fluffier brush to add it to my underneath my eyes. I'm gonna use the back of the brush, and I'm gonna mix those two together, and then I'm gonna dab it right under my eye. Yeah, I was a little nervous to do the pinup because I've never done it before, and one of the girls that offered to do a makeover with me has asked me if I would do a pinup for her. So since I've never done one, I figured I had better probably at least try it on myself first. So I decided to do that. So I did half my face already. Alright, so I got my under circle. I brought it down just a little bit past where my actual circle ends, because I want to draw the attention a little away from that circle. So I'm going underneath just a little bit more. Okay? And I got this little trick from Morgan to use my fluffy brush to add my concealer. So thanks, Morgan, for giving me that trick. All right. So with a pinup look, it's all about light and bright. So you don't want to do the smoky eye look. If you are, that's not really a traditional pinup. So I'm going to start with my base because I want to make sure that I've got all my discolorations. Hi, Morgan. All my discolorations covered. So I'm using Candlelight, and I'm going to just put that everywhere on my lid. And I will take it right from my lash line all the way up to my brow bone, right under my eyebrows. And that will also allow the other two colors that I'm going to use to basically jump out. Okay, so I've got a base and it's all like one color. And Candlelight is it's a thicker color and it's more neutral. So it's more my skin tone. The next color I'm going to use is actually white. Traditional pinups don't use glittery or sparkly, so I'm using all matte colors today. So I'm doing a little bit of white, and I'm just going to use a thin, flat kind of brush, and I'm going to put that right under my eyebrow because I want to accentuate my eyebrow and do that little highlight. And then I'm going to put it on the inside. And I'm also going to put it underneath here. And then once I have it on there, I'm going to blend it out. So I'm going to actually go back to that same black fluffy brush, which if everybody knows, anybody who's watching my stuff knows this is my favorite brush. It's just an elf brush, believe it or not. Hi Amy, I hope you're having an awesome day. Got your classes outside. So I'm blending that white out because I'm just wanting that bright. I want it to be nice and bright. So I want the inside of my eye and I want my brow bone. And I can always add more later. So the next color I'm going to use is going to be my Mocha Java. If I can find it. So Mocha Java is just a little bit, you know, it's a contrast. It's a really pretty kind of chocolatey brown, but not too dark. Like I said before, Pinup is all about light and bright. So you don't want a smoky eye. What you want to do is just, and I'm using a kind of a more dense, rounded top brush, and I'm going to put that right in my crease. I will blend it out, but I want it concentrated in my crease. So I'm going to put enough on that I see that contrast. And then I'm going to go back, and again, I'm not putting it on my actual lid, just at my crease. Can you see that? Go back with my fluffy brush and blend it in. Because we're not quite doing a cut crease. We're just accentuating that basically keeping that shadow of my crease. And on camera it seems more defined than it does in person. But so if I want it a little darker, I just go back with a little bit. And I'm using a little bit of product. I'm not using a ton of product. You can always layer more. And I'm just going in that crease. Okay? I think that's enough. Light and bright. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is my eyebrows. And my eyebrows are a little thicker than what they really should be. But I'm working with it. And for a pinup look, you want to have more of a straight underneath and then feather it up. So I'm using a thinner brush, and I'm basically going to do a straight line underneath to define where my eyebrow is. And it's more straight than it is curved until you get to that curve, natural curve in your eyebrow. And then you want to bring it out a little bit further past what you're probably used to. Pinup girls have soft brows, so your top line is not going to be as distinct. So all I'm doing is taking from that bottom line, now I'm feathering it up. And I can add a little product all the way around. And like I said, I'm just blending from that straight line underneath. And you don't want to have a straight, really distinct line here. It should be soft. And all the way out past. Alright. And I could go a little bit darker if I wanted to, but I'm not going to right now. Okay. Eyebrow. So this is the hardest part coming up. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to show you a little cheat trick that I kind of did. Is your eyeliner. Alright. And this will probably take me the longest because it took me the longest last time. Tape. Your best friend. Now I don't want it sticking really bad to and ripping like my makeup and my skin and stuff, so I'm sticking it to the back of my hand first so that I'm trying to get some of that stickiness off of it. And then I'm going to apply it. I'm applying it to I'm following my lower lashes, not my upper lashes. So I'm going right at that lower lash line and straight up. And that's going to be my wing. Actually, I want to go a little more angled. Pinup girls have thicker eyeliners, okay? So the best way, and everybody knows if you watch my videos, I am obsessed with using, hold on, I gotta find my liner, there's. I'm obsessed with using my Shadow Sense as my liner, but pinup makeup is more distinct and more of a solid line. So I am going to use our liquid eyeliner because it's got a thin line, and because it's liquid, it's going to go on more like straighter. And then when I add it, and I'm not going to be able to talk and do it at the same time, so I'm going to talk quick first. When I add it, I'm going to put in thin, small strokes, and I'm starting at the inner corner, and I'm going to go out, and I'm actually going above my lash line. I want to create that straight, like seamless look. It's not easy to do after like 2 cups of coffee either. See how I'm above my lash line? I'll fill that in a minute. And then I'm going to already start my wing. So I'm following actually this tape line. And I'm going straight up. And it's kind of just giving me a guide to where I want to go. And I'm going to connect basically a straight line to that edge. You don't want it curved, you want it straight. And if you gotta get more, you gotta get more. My hands are shaking from 2 cups of coffee, people, and I haven't eaten breakfast and it's almost lunchtime. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and fill it in, but I'm gonna take my tape off. And you wanna make sure that you have like a nice point at the end, which for the most part I do. And now I'm going to fill in. And then I'm going right above that lash line now. Sorry about my dog barking in the background. We have a very active street today, and the mailman's coming, and apparently Aria feels like she has to protect this house from neighbors. So you can see it's a little curved, more curved than I really want it to be, but you get the gist. But if you were to follow that lash line, instead of going above that lash line, that's when you get all those waves. So that's why it's easiest to draw above your lash line first. And if you mess with it too much, you'll probably create more mistakes for yourself. So I'm trying not to be too much a perfectionist, because makeup is not about perfection, it's just about creativity, right? I do not put eyeliner underneath. It's all about keeping your eyes wide. So instead, I'm going to let my liner dry a little bit. I add mascara. So I'm going to add mascara both to the top and the bottom. And I have such sparse lashes that it's really not easy. Like, my lashes don't really look good when they have just mascara. But Pinup's all about the false lashes. Oops. I'm going to have to clean that up. I got a little bit of mascara underneath my lash. And now I just got it way up there. I'll probably have to come back with some natural concealer to go over that little spot. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with having to go with some natural concealer under there because I got a little bit of mascara underneath there. I'm going to fill in my waterline with white. So the same white that I used at my brow line, I'm going to actually use at my, in my waterline as well. So I'm using a real thin brush again, and I'm just placing it, and I pull down my eye a little bit. Don't do it too much because you don't want to create too many wrinkles. And I'm just going to place it at that waterline, because that's just going to open your eye up more. And then blend it in. Okay. I could go under here a little bit with white, I guess. And then blush. Blush and a little bit of contour. I use chocolate cherry blush scents as my contour mixed with that mocha java. So that same color I used in my crease, I'm going to use as my, mixed with my chocolate cherry blush scent. I find that it's a really natural and like about 2 shades darker than my skin tone, which is kind of where you want to be with your contour, unless you're doing a super stark definition for your contour. So I've got those 2 colors and I'm going to mix them together, back of my brush. And then the best way to contour is find your bone and go right where it starts to hollow. And then blend it in. I go back and forth, and then I go up. Because you're just creating a shadow to make your bone more defined. It'll thin out your cheeks too. Okay, and then add a little blush. What the blush does, it's supposed to give you a little flushed look, especially like the 1940s, 1950s, you know, the girls traditionally had a little bit more blush in their face. So I'm using cherry. And let me tell you, I was scared to death to use this the first time I ever saw it. And I did not use it for months. It wasn't until this past weekend that I finally tried it, and I love it. It's just a little bit goes a long way, and it gives that just perfect like pink cheek. So for this, I'm going to put it right at my apple of my bone, or apple of my cheek. So this is where you're going to be kind of funny and like find out where that apple is. And then do circular motions and get it back and bring it up. So the apple of your cheek, then bring it up. Alright, so it gives just that kind of girly, flirty, like blushing look. Alright, I'm going to add my lash. Your lashes, the lashes that you choose should be flirty. They shouldn't be, they should be more flirty on the outside. So today, honestly, I think these are Miss. I'm really not sure. They might be rosy. I keep mine in a case, so I forget which ones are which. I don't keep them in the box anymore. When you're putting your lashes on, make sure that the glue gets put on. It turns kind of a bluish color. The glue turns blue. And you let it sit for like 30 seconds or so. What that's going to do is that is going to make it tacky. If I tried to put my lash on right now, it would just slide all over the place. So I'm gonna try and make it a little faster than normal. And then I'm putting it right at that lash line. You'll see how easy this is. That's it. Lashes on. What I do is I crimp my lashes in with the false. Just so that they blend together. Okay. Of course, my last step. I don't know, right when I'm doing the live video, doesn't he know I'm working here? You can't be Pinup without those bright red lips. So, I'm going with Fly Girl. It is our deepest red. And you want to go with your natural lip. Don't try creating like big, bold lips. Just go with your natural lip. I line it first. Even if you have thinner lips, it's okay. And then I fill it in. So, I've got layers 2, and I will do layer 3 in a second. But I want that nice big bold red lip. Let that dry for a sec. And then add your gloss. And yeah, I'm going out like this. I had to go drop my kid off at school. I'm supposed to be leaving right this second. That's it. My pinup look is complete. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial on how to create your own pinup look. And drop me some hearts if this was helpful, or if you liked it, or if I did a good job. So thanks for watching. And if you're watching at replay, remember #replay. Talk to you soon. Love you all. Bye.